Hello. Just wanted to come on today and talk a little bit about what I've been reflecting on. I think this journey starts in a certain place and is going a certain direction, and it's been very interesting to go through so far. When I started this channel, I started the playlist by like week. So if you look at the playlist, there'd be like week 1 and then week 2, because it seems kind of momentous at first, and I was just very focused, and every day was very impactful with what was happening. And then you get to like week 4 and you're like, well, that's unsustainable. I'm not gonna track every week now because more things are happening. So then I kind of got into phases. I was like, okay, so this feels like another phase. And it's like phase 2. And it's there's another playlist called phase 2. And after that, I sort of entered this place of, I don't know, there's this place you enter when you're really shifting your vibration or your thought process. It's kind of like the void or the in-between. It's talked about in spirituality. But I ended up making a place like the in-between, and everything's been going on there for a while because it's just been a time of such intensity, transformation, and the holidays were really tough. And it just has been a very interesting time. And then, about a month ago when we headed on our vacation and honeymoon, and I switched jobs again, and everything really started to soften a lot, change, and spring hit intensely, planting all these new seeds of relationships. And so much has happened since then. I haven't had a chance to share or create because it takes a lot of time to compile video and edit it and then upload it, even if it's just to cut it, because there's a lot of footage and just a lot has been happening. But I will share those things. But a lot happened. Celebration of love, Justin and I, family, connection. My honeymoon, it was incredible to be with Justin on a honeymoon. It was incredible to be with Abraham, to see my family, to see my friends, to celebrate us, to have a beautiful get together. And then a couple days ago, my mom called and their dog passed away. And Da Vinci was a golden retriever who was born on April Fool's Day. And I feel like it's a really like an April Fool's dog. Most golden retrievers are so sensitive and care about your feelings and easy to train. And he was the only golden retriever I've ever met that didn't care about your feelings at all. It was like the most bullheaded, maddening dog. He would take off and just not come back. And my mom and I usually have really well-trained dogs that do that. Like Einstein stopped running away with him. But anyway, at the same time, he was very alpha and very brave and very strong and protected the ranch. So when I was out on my parents' ranch for 4 years, he was really like a pet to me too. Everybody, we all took care of everything, the barn and the chickens, and he had such a good life, but also there we really needed him. And it's just been very sad to reflect on. A lot of people have passed since our time at the ranch. My aunt, my uncle, my grandma, and now, the puppy dog, in the last 4 years alone. And we have so many memories out there. Anyway, so there's just been a lot of reflection with that. And he died 2 days after his birthday. So his birthday was April 1st and he died on April 3rd. And I'm so glad I got to go down and say goodbye in Florida. I just kissed him and I knew he was passing. I could see it in his eyes. He hung on for our party. I know he wanted to see everybody. And I'm so grateful for that. But it's just been really sad. But then I realized, this journey is evolving and changing. I am. And this channel really started mid to late stream in my own process. A lot happened before this, and I have a long backtrack of video. And a big piece of my new understanding and energy and thought process and focus is nature-based because of those 4 years I got at the ranch. I've always been animal-based, and I've always been nature-based. When I lived in Belgium at 15 with my mom, we had geese, we had chickens. I've always ridden horses and had guinea pigs and dogs and cats, and worked in landscaping or worked as a wrangler or worked as a gardener. I've done most jobs. But I really, then I went down to a beach area in Florida that's very populated and got disconnected from nature. I had pets, but you don't really have yards there, and there's not really places to go hiking, and it was just a very different lifestyle. And then I moved to LA, and I really got disconnected from all that until I came back to the ranch, and it was like a piece of me coming back to me from long ago, that I had kind of lost connection with. But there, because you're on 5 acres and you're in the Colorado wilds, like Da Vinci saved my dog's life multiple times. He was a city apartment doodle, my little city doodle, and Da Vinci's a big golden retriever. My doodle's like 40 pounds, and saved his life multiple times just from getting baited by coyotes, from a deer that was trying to impale him. Like, there's definitely, and Einstein gets smart. He stopped running to chase coyotes without Da Vinci and stuff. He adapted very quickly. But if you're not smart out there, you don't survive. Like our guineas, we loved our guineas, but they were so loud. They were beacons of prey for our apex predators. And, they all got taken out because they don't shut up. I mean, they're just not made for that environment. But it was very sad, obviously. We were very sad to lose any animals, but it was also amazing. And just with the change of the seasons was so rich there. Like, we had a huge garden, and it would die in winter, and I would actually grieve the garden, and in spring all the plants would start to pop out, and we had baby chickens and baby bunnies and baby everything. And I realized that this is a spring based process, and there was an emerging there. And it's one reason I think that Alan Watts and Taoism speak to me so intensely, because there's a nature based portion of it that when I was living so closely with nature, you start to realize that in spring there's a cycle that happens of a death to life process, just like kind of is celebrated in our Savior, or some peoples in the West, Savior, at Easter time. And I know that was kind of aligned with equinox on purpose, but you see it. You see this death to life process. Everything's crusty and dry, and then green emerges, and seeds grow, and, fruits come out, and sort of the cold and dark and hungry, and like it passes. So that cycle also happens in our lives. So it's not an accident that we went on our honeymoon and had all of this incredible blossoming, planted so many seeds in relationships, also had endings. Spring is also a time of certain things don't make it into the new year. They end with the closing of what was, because there's also a life to death process at the end, in the next season. But now we get to have spring and flourish and be in summer. And then what I also didn't expect is I'm in the garden center where I met my husband the first year I came to Colorado. So I'm missing the ranch, but I get to be in the garden center, and it's a gorgeous garden center. And like, I spent all day out there. Even though I manage inside, I end up going outside a lot. And just being around the plants. And I mean, it's the top garden center out of 1,700 stores nationally. So it's amazing, but also being with friends. And so I miss the 5 acres where I can take the plants and plant them. But also the first year I was there, I was in jail. And then, working there during the day. And that was a huge evolutionary process. I had this joke, like, I'm gonna get enlightened while I'm here, this summer in jail. And all I did was meditate and read and study Course in Miracles and Abraham and all kinds of different things. But obviously I didn't get enlightened, but I do realize that something did happen, because I'm very attached to this garden center, or this energy there, and the plants. And so something beautiful is happening. I feel inspired, but also just very reflective. So with all that said, I feel like there's a piece of journey I want to add to this channel for a little while during the spring season. And so I'm going to start sharing as I process and reflect and sort and just kind of go through a lot of the ranch footage and stuff. I'm going to share it on here. So hopefully you like animals, but it's also a part of something. So for a while when I was at the ranch, I used to have all these old videos where I would talk, and maybe I'll share some of those. It'd be interesting to look at and share like more of my back journey, but I'm sure it'd be embarrassing, but that's okay. Humility is a good thing. But I stopped talking when I was going through that period. So I became a coach. I got certified with the ICF and everything. And then I realized I had some things to work on. Some stuff came up, and I stopped doing all of that. And I stopped even making videos or talking. And I really just filmed animals for 4 years. And I filmed them at the ranch, the garden, and I have all that footage. And so I think I want to share that here this spring season, because there's something about watching animals that's very soothing. It's powerful. There's a connection to nature that is very healing and is a big part of my story. the preciousness of it, the simplicity of it, the beauty of it. And so anyway, so I think I'm just going to share some old stuff for a little while, and we'll call it another phase of some kind. Maybe the integration, right? Like bringing past into present and sharing a little bit more, maybe through these types of videos. The words don't teach, only life experience teaches. So we'll see if I can share some of the experience that shifted me, that was taught to me by something, by nature. I don't know, whatever you want to call that. You can call that what you want to call it, right? Source, God, an understanding of the connectedness of all that is. I think that's something that we all want to believe that is, but then like we doubt it and we lose faith in it, and then we get evidence of that because we create. And I think there's an element of like having faith that everything's connected. And now I see it. And with each family member, like who's passed since the ranch, like if I had not, I thought that DUI was the worst thing that could happen to me, and being in jail and at this garden center, and like my life was crashing and burning. And yet, if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't have lived the last 2 years of my grandma's life with her in my parents' house, and had all those connections, and gotten the time with my aunt who passed. Spent time with Da Vinci. He wouldn't have been my dog too for 4 years, and I wouldn't have met my husband. I wouldn't have reconnected with nature. Like there's so much now to see, that everything was always working out for me. And it was, I guess, the path of least resistance. I'm not going to think most allowance probably, but at the same time, like something so beautiful happened. And I want to share a piece of that. So I'll probably do some readings in there, but otherwise I think I'm just going to kind of reflect and share some of my reflections through videos. So anyway, with that, I got to get going to work. Have a great day. Thanks for being here. Happy spring. Happy blossoming. Join me maybe. I think as we reflect on the old, we can let it go and sift and sort for what we want to take forward and what we want to learn, and then we let it go, and then we shift onto the new year, shed it, and we're going to spring new life from that. Like the pruning process of spring and trimming things back, and then they burst forth even more powerful and beautiful and thriving. And that's what we're going to do this summer. We're going to thrive. Justin and I continue to thrive. We continue to attract. Just when I get nervous about resources, like something shifts. This last week I was getting nervous, and then I said, you know what, my inner being's got it. I know the next thing's going to come. It's got it lined up. And then it showed right up. We ended up attracting some good abundance. So anyway, so it is. I hope it is the same for you. Join me on the journey. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.